How you doing, folks? Well, it's time to collect the Beetle today. Myself, my wife and my young lad are all down in VW Spares in Castle Dermot, here to collect it, and it's an exciting day. I'm going to actually take it for a proper drive today, up across the mountains towards our what'll hopefully be our new house soon enough. And yeah, we're going to go on a bit of an adventure. I mean, and I actually won't be getting it home. You want an adventure? Okay. Well, then you've come to the right place. Yeah, so yeah, let's see how it's looking. All of the little snag list I gave the lads there was has all been completed, and I am excited. Well, here she is, folks. The engine still needs a bit of tweaking, but I still need to get it to Ben Lawrence and get him to do that. So that's kind of fair enough, you know. But it's here, it's driving, and it's coming home with me. Just a bit of fettling now, and should be 100%. So I'm really happy with how it looks now. So yeah, let's just go over it and make sure everything is as it should be, and get a fresh tank of petrol into it, get it driving. I'd say the petrol is as stale as anything in it at this stage as well, you know, so fresh tank of petrol will do it the world of good. Nice, very nice. Wow, don't put out. I just pull up the idle speed a little bit until I can kind of get it kind of properly tweaked. I think it's just one of the carbs is blocked up. A dose, a belt of an ultrasonic bath would do it no harm, you know, that way. Probably needs valves adjusting, all that kind of thing as well. But yeah, I mean, look at this, small things. Like, in fairness, I didn't ask the lads to touch the engine or anything like that, you know. So I mean, I'm going to go over everything now and see how everything else is looking. But it's all there, you know. So yeah, happy days. Anyway, right, let's crack on. What do you think, Owen? Do you like it? Yeah. Might be another few years before you can drive it. Yeah. I do honestly think that a drop of fresh petrol is all this needs, you know that? Probably needs a valve adjustment as well by the sound of things. That's alright too. Alright, I've got a back seat full of spare bits left over from the job done, and we're on the move. It's time to hit the road. So first things first, go and put some incredibly expensive petrol in it. Wait for these cars to go. So yeah, I have a bit of a run actually to do on it. The handling is still a bit wayward, so it's going to need a bit of addressing. I'm actually going to just take it relatively easy. I'm not going to go too mad on it now. Oil pressure is a little bit on the low side of things, to be honest with you. I'll have a look at it when I get to the garage and see what the story is. Oh, the price of petrol, 199.9, bloody hell. Right, I'm not going to let it ruin my enjoyment. Well, it's never going to be plain sailing in a situation like this. I put the petrol in and all that, which was all well and good, but now the battery is dead again. So one of the lads is just coming down with a battery booster pack and is going to give me a jump start, and we'll be on the way. And hopefully then, with the amount of driving I'll be doing, it'll be enough to get a bit of a charge into the battery, and we can kind of won't have to worry about it too much. Once I get it back to my parents' place, which is where I'm staying tonight, I'll be able to actually stick it on charge there. So that'll be that sorted. So yeah, I'll keep you updated with my progress. Okay, we're back on the move again, folks. I'm just going to get the sat nav going here so I can find out where the hell I'm going, and then not entirely sure I do know where I'm going, but anyway. There's some Wally wants to watch me pulling away here now, and my wife is trying to follow me here as well, so €50 worth of fuel into the tank, and I got 25 litres for that. I have a little over half a tank of juice in it there now, so there wasn't very much in the tank now when we got going. But yeah, anyway, what can you do? Yeah, we'll see how this car does on juice. Look, to be honest with you, it's kind of annoying because of the fact that obviously with the price of petrol, this car is just not going to get the use as much use as I would like, simply because of the fact it's going to be too expensive to run. I mean, I'm not loaded, like, but yeah, anyway. As far as the noise of the engine is concerned in the car, it's droney, but it's not really loud. It's kind of, there's no carpets in the car, there's no headliner, there's no, so a lot of the soft furnishings, so to speak, haven't been added to it yet. So when all of that is added to it, it will be a bit quieter as well. But for the moment, anyway, I mean, it's for what it is, it's absolutely fine. I always kind of wanted this car just to be a sort of a GT kind of cruiser, sporty but comfortable, which is why I went for the Mazda RX-8 seats. And my God, I'm so glad I did. The other thing I'll be adding is the auxiliary heater, because at the moment I've no heat. It's not too bad today. I know it's raining and that, but it's 8 degrees, so I'm all right. Like, I have my ski jacket on me, I'm fine, But yeah, still, it would be nice to have a bit of heat in the old toes here at the moment. But sure, look at it. I'm surviving. I'm happy. I'm driving my car. I'm driving this car for the first time, like the first proper journey I've had in it in years. So I'm a happy man. Just looking there, the oil pressure is about 50 psi there now, holding 3,000 RPM, so it's not too bad really. I'm not concerned. The oil pressure light only came on dimly on idle, so it's not like a case where it was kind of on and I had zero oil pressure. I had a little bit on the gauge. I have a gauge and an oil light, so it's fine. I'm not worried about that at all. But an oil change in the service, a tune-up and all of that sort of stuff will see this car right, and then it's kind of but that'll be the next thing to do, and I'm hoping Ben will consent to being filmed, and maybe do a bit of a showcase on what he's actually doing here. What I'm also hoping is that maybe if you look back on my videos there, you'll see that I was working on a bay there, getting it tuned up, and that belongs to Sean. And I'm hoping that Ben will be able to kind of do the final fettle on that for Sean, like if Sean consents to doing that. I didn't want to overtake, but we'll go for it. There's 60 miles an hour there now. Just going along grand. It's a little bit wayward, but I think that's as much tyre pressures as anything else. The other thing I asked the lads to do is to adjust the clutch, and they did, and it's fine now. So the clutch is not slipping, which is great. Because that was worrying me a little bit. I was thinking, oh no, I'm going to have to get a performance clutch for it. And of course, putting a clutch into a Beetle means taking the engine out. And taking the engine out of a Beetle in a lot of cases, it's not that difficult, but it's still a pain in the face to have to do. Especially if you've twin carbs, because you have to take the carbs off before you drop the engine out. So it's an awful faff. One of the things I was a little bit concerned about when I got the engine rework done was that it'd lose that kind of low-speed drivability, and it would end up having to I'd end up having to rev its head off the whole time. That's not the case at all. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, I suppose I've lost a little bit of power down low, but I know that if I ever want it, I just drop a cog and away I go. Like, I mean, you just it'll rev out to 6,000 instead of 5,000 now, and it'll go like a scalded cat. You know, I mean, that's the thing about it. Like, it's you've still got the power up high, and yet at the lower RPM range, it's a small trade-off to pay, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And in any case, I think it's actually better for it. Like, for the type of low RPM driving I'm doing it now, and I certainly don't feel wanting for power. Far from it, in actual fact. Yeah, I mean, definitely, it was definitely worthwhile getting the change of the camshaft and all the porting work done and all that. As far as the brake servo is concerned, it's a peculiar kind of feeling, and I think it's because it's an electric brake booster. It kind of pushes back on your foot a little bit when you press it initially, and it could take a little bit of getting used to be honest with you. But the brakes are very, very sharp. They're very good. Yeah, it's. I mean, Jason, it's driving really well here now. Like, you know, I mean, I know Eamon was saying he'd been driving it a bit. You know, something it's really striking me as well is how well this car is handling. It's really, like, it's taking corners lovely. Aside from the wayward steering, and that's something I will address in the next little while. I'll get the tracking done. I mean, going over bumps and everything like that, it's not crashing over them by any stretch. It's very comfortable. You know, it's sure-footed. You know, I mean, you do feel like if you were to throw it hard into a bend, you'd end up swapping ends in it if you were to open the taps. But it reminds you of that in a sense. Like, you know, you don't feel like you feel like it kind of tells you what you can do and what you can't do with it. Like, you know, I mean, in a very real way. But that's the thing about 1303 Beetles. The suspension is that much nicer than a standard Beetle. I'm sorry to all you standard Beetle owners, it just is, like, you know, it really is. That's not to say that I have anything against standard Beetles, but it was one of the things that they really improved on over the years. And this 1303 Beetle, with its 2-inch drop all rounds and the rear anti-roll bar, it's handling like any other car, you know. I mean, it does not feel like a 45-year-old car, 48-year-old car. It certainly doesn't feel like a 48-year-old car. It was 9 years older than me. It's a lovely drive here, actually. We're going up from Castle Dermot, which is where VW Spares is, up through the Wicklow Mountains, and kind of over the Wicklow Mountains and back down towards Dublin on the other side. So it's yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's kind of twisty roads, but nothing too narrow, you know. I mean, it's just a shame about the weather, but like, I mean, look, it just seems to be the case that anytime I do anything VW related recently, it's raining. But at least in the new house, I'll have proper car storage and space to work on it and everything like that, you know, and it'll make all the difference. But and you know, I'll have this car. This car is taxed and insured now, so I can use away on it. I can use away on it in the summer. The other thing as well I'm noticing, by the way, is that it's not drinking petrol. I mean, yeah, it's using a bit, but like, it's not drinking it. So that's a good thing. And the more I'm using it, the nicer the engine is. It's sort of clearing itself out, which is exactly what I expected to happen. Yeah, definitely a happy man here. My toes are bloody freezing. I have to get that heater installed. There's a gale force wind whistling around by my feet here, and I think it's coming in through the heater channel somehow. So I'm not entirely sure how, but it's unpleasant. It'd be grand in the summer, but it's not the summer, is it? It's only the 9th of March, I think it is today. I have to make a quick stop en route, and I have a funny feeling turning off the engine might be ill-advised at that point in time. So what I'll do is I'll be stopping in a town further along. So what I'll do is I'll leave the engine running when I make a quick stop. I don't really need to get out of the car at all, actually. But when I... Oh, that's not going to get old. But yeah, I'll leave the engine running, and I'll then, when I get into the town, I can pick up a set of jump leads the Toyota, although it's a hybrid, actually can give a jump start. It's got a 12 volts connection underneath the bonnet, which is handy. It was quite nice of Toyota to include that, actually, because it's not like you can use it for jump starting the Toyota. Well, you could if the house battery was dead, I suppose, but I mean, that's not something that happens too often in them. Well, folks, I got it back to my parents' place, so happy days. It drove really well, actually, I have to say. I mean, yes, there's definitely things to be done. As you can hear, the engine is idling like a generator here at the moment. It's 1500 RPM, and the carbs are a mile out of balance. That's one thing. The other thing is that, yeah, obviously I have to reinstate the heaters, or, you know, put a system in for that. I have to trim it out, and a couple of other little bits and pieces. I am not 100% happy with how the brake servo is working out at the moment, because the way it works is you put your foot in the pedal very lightly and the servo does nothing, and then you push it a bit harder and the servo comes on and pushes your foot back, and actually you nearly jam on then, so it's not very graduated. But let's turn that off for a start anyway. But yeah, overall, really happy. The car is driving. I have it back on the road, and it started fine when I came out after having a bit of dinner a little bit earlier on. So yeah, the 40-minute drive was enough to charge up the battery. Now I'm going to take it into work tomorrow as well, and then get it down to my house. So yeah, I mean, look, happy days. So listen, yeah, we'll pick this up in the future, because, as I said, there is lots more to be done, and I will catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching. Okay, I just took a moment to dial in the carburetors just a little bit better. I mean, just the smallest of tweaks, just to get it to kind of idle a bit cleaner, and it certainly sounds a lot better there now. I mean, it's not perfect, but it will be. Give it time. Give it time. I've waited this long. Well, I'm home, folks, and covered just shy of 100 miles in the last couple of days. So, as I said, I brought it into work this morning, started fine in the morning, and fine in the afternoon when I was going home and everything as well. So, yeah, I'm a happy man. So, as I said, a little bit of tuning to be done still, and a few bits and pieces. My toes are freezing and my hands are freezing, so it's like 4 degrees outside and lashing rain. So I'm going to get into a nice warm house now to the weather. So yeah, chat to you soon. Thanks for watching.